net zero closed loop water system. What's that? So the term net zero came from the 2030 Living Building Challenge, and it's a protocol. And it means you only use water from the sky and reclaimed water, and you don't use any imported water. So you don't use wells or water meters or trucked in water. Closed loop is kind of redundant to net zero, but it basically means you've got this system loop of water and your supplies balanced with your demand. So step one to designing a system like this is you need to do a water budget. You need to do calculations on how much do you need average monthly and average annual. You need to define how many occupants are on the piece of property. You're going to know, is it rural and are you growing all the food for everybody who lives on the property? Because you're going to need a lot more water to produce all that food. Or is it an urban project and your goal is to use very little, but you have a small piece of land and you can't really grow all your food. So your little bit of discretionary landscaping's going to be edible. First we look at demand. Water's kind of like money, demand and supply. So you're going to calculate on your water budget into subcategories. You're going to have your pristine potable water, and that's for drinking, bathing, and cooking. Then you're going to have other clear water, but it hasn't been filtered to potable level. So that's going to be like the washing machine and flushing your toilet. And cleaning the house, washing the car, doing the windows. Then you're going to need irrigation to grow food, and it's okay if that's silty or gray or has some algae in it even. And then there might be another need you have for water. When we do a water budget, we apply a safety factor. So we're going to plan the system to have 1.5 times the amount of water that you calculated that you needed. And that safety factor is going to offset drought, leaks, somebody got sloppy and left a faucet on, some water got contaminated from a dead bird or rodent got in there. So then on the supply end, we're going to calculate what comes from the sky. So precipitation's a fancy word for rain, snow, or fog. When we go look at how much of that pristine potable water you needed, and you're going to look on the internet for what your average annual rainfall is in your area, you need to have enough roof surface area to collect that amount of water. Now, also on your property, you're going to have paving, so you can calculate how much water lands on that paving, and you're going to have exposed earth with landscaping. So you could add the paving and the landscaping together, and how many square feet of land times how many inches of rain, that's going to end up to a particular volume. You can sculpt your land, collect it in a low spot at the bottom of the property in a pond or a cistern, and then you can pump it uphill to use it later. And all of that pavement, exposed earth collected water, it's all going to be used for irrigating food and plants. So if your pristine water, your pristine potable, 50% of that is going to be reclaimed as gray water that you can either filter it to potable again to use it over and over, or you can use it directly as irrigation immediately. Now, sewage water can also be reclaimed to gray water, which can then again be reclaimed further, and that can all be used for irrigation. Most people, just because they knew it used to be sewage, they're going to want to just use it on orchard trees. The good news is usually only 10% of our water budget needs to be pristine potable. and you're going to collect that off your roof area easily. So you're going to have plenty of water left over from reclaiming used water to meet all your other needs. So in summary, you're only going to use precipitation from the sky and reclaimed water, no imported well, metered, or trucked in water. You're going to do a water budget with subcategories of the water you need: the pristine potable, the clear not potable, and the irrigation water. You're going to calculate precipitation separately off your roofs, off your pavement, and off your exposed earth landscape areas. You're going to reuse reclaimed water with appropriate filters. You're going to match sources of supply to the use of your different demand categories. And if your supply is inadequate for your demand, you have a few choices. You can either conserve more, you can reduce the number of occupants on your property, or you even can import some water. If you import water, you'll have to let go of calling your system net zero closed loop, and then you can call it a hybrid water system, because all shades of blue are good.